On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review the Justice Straight Bourbon Whiskey. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. Today, we are reviewing the Justice Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This mash bill is 84% corn, 8% rye, and 8% malted barley. It is bottled by Proof and Wood Ventures out of Bardstown, Kentucky. The proof on this is 94.2% or 47.1% alcohol. This was aged 14 years, bottled in 2019, and distilled in Tennessee. So, as you guys can probably guess, we are talking about George Dickle juice in this bottle. So, what I want to do is review it today, and then let's taste it against the 13-year George Dickle bottled in bond and see if it's worth the price. This is a $92 bottle compared to a $30 13-year bottled in bond George Dickle product. So, we're going to taste them today. We're going to give it the Whiskey Tornado score. For those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, let me quickly explain our scoring system. We have two handicapped categories, appearance and availability. Then we rate the nose, palate, body, finish, and value. Those categories are rated 0 to 1.5 being average. At the end, we add those categories up. Anything a 3 or better is bar worthy. You can feel safe buying it. You're going to love it on your bar. Anything 4 or better, bunker some, because you're going to be sad if you can't find that bottle anymore. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of the Justice. Alright guys, so I actually love this bottle. I really like it. I think it's creative. They have the Justice, the Senator, some other stuff. You have to be careful when you're buying these products from Proof and Wood. Some of them are MGP juice and some of them are Dickle juice. So if you do not like Dickle, George Dickle juice, be careful. Look at the back of the bottle. Make sure you're buying juice that's distilled in at MGP, as this is a non-distilling producer. This particular bottle, I actually thought it was MGP, and I did not look at the back of it till I bought it, and I was severely disappointed when I got home and realized I had just bought a $92 bottle of George Dickle juice. So I really got screwed. You guys be careful on this. Learn from my mistakes. But as far as the appearance goes, we're going to give it a 0.7. All right, moving on to availability. You know, it's kind of spotty. It's not super easy to find. It's definitely less than average. We're going to give it a 0.3. So the appearance and availability category we handicap, we add those together, divide by 2. Those two come up to a 0.5. All right, let's get into the actual juice in the bottle. Let's talk about the nose here. The nose is a very George Dickle on the nose, meaning it veers away from your traditional bourbon notes of caramel, vanilla, brown sugar, apples, those kind of things. This is more very floral, very perfumey, and very fruity, like Fruity Pebbles kind of fruity. But I actually enjoy the nose. The nose on this is pretty good. I enjoy something that's a little bit different. I don't like always tasting caramel, vanilla, and brown sugar. But on the nose, this is really good. I'm going to give it a 0.7. Okay, moving on to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Now, I'm going to taste this against George Dickle 13-year. My initial impressions are this is better. This is aged for 14 years as opposed to 13. There's definitely some of that. The biggest complaint people have with George Dickle is that Flintstone mineral note. Flintstone vitamin kind of note, and that's there, but I don't feel like it's as strong as I remember the George Dickle 13-year bottled and bond being, but it's definitely there. I get some fruity pebbles. I definitely get some caramel notes. Heavy cherry. Really heavy cherry. I actually think I like this palate, but I don't know if I like it as much as a lot of bourbons. You have to really like George Dickle, and some people are super loyal to that brand and love it. And so if you're one of those people, I think you're gonna love this bottle. To me, I'm kind of hit and miss on George Dickle. I do not like those vitamin minerality notes that I get sometimes, and this has a hint of that. So I've got to give the palate average score of 0.5. All right, moving on to the body. And the body on this is pretty nice. It's pretty viscous, it's pretty oily, kind of heavy. The 14 years in the barrel did really well. I kind of like the body. I think it's better than average. We're gonna give it a 0.6. All right, moving on to the finish. And the finish is just okay to me. It's not spectacular. This is easy, an easy drinker. I think a lot of people who are newer to bourbon will probably like this. We're gonna give it less than average. We're gonna give the finish a 0.4. All right, moving on to value. Now, the only way for me to tell you if this is worth it is to taste it against George Dickle 13-year bottled and bond. This is the distilling season of fall of 2005 that I have. They have a newer one that came out that's an 11-year bottled and bond that I've heard doesn't have quite as many minerality notes. I just haven't picked it up. So we're gonna taste it against this. This is a $40 bottle. The Justice is a $92 bottle. This is the same distillery, and we have 1 year age difference. So let's see, is that age difference worth an extra $50? The nose is so similar on these. I mean, I think actually I like the nose a little bit better on the 13-year bottled and bond. Yeah, I do. I like the nose better on the 13-year bottle and bond. Let me taste the Justice, and then we'll go to the George Dickle 13-year. Man, that's got a heavy cherry note. Lots of that fruity pebble cereal kinda. I haven't had the George Dickle 13-year in a long time. While it has those minerality notes, man, I don't think there's a $50 difference between these two. I think I definitely got ripped off paying $92 for this bottle. Let me go back to the George Dickle and then back to the Justice. I might even prefer the George Dickle 13-year bottle and bond more. I think I do. It's nothing's off-putting, but if you hate those Flintstone vitamin notes, you're not gonna like either of these bottles. To me, I don't mind them. It's just not my favorite. So for value at $92, this is a 0.1. It's horrible value when you can get George Dickle bottle and bond. I've heard the 11-year is even less of those vitamin mineral notes. So you're looking at a $40 bottle versus a $92 bottle. That's probably better, I would guess. So we're gonna give it a 0.1. That brings the overall score for the Justice to a 2.8, making it not bar worthy. I do not recommend buying this bottle. Now, if you're a George Dickle fan and you just want some 14-year barrel strength bourbon, then go ahead and buy this. But I don't think there's near enough difference between the two. In fact, I prefer the 13-year bottled and bond to this. I definitely got ripped off when I bought this. Always read your labels, guys, especially if you don't like Dickle. Make sure that it doesn't say distilled in Tennessee. And I did that. I was with a buddy and I was just super excited to see this bottle, and I bought it without reading the back. And that's my mistake, and I paid the price for it. I would not recommend the Justice. If you're really looking for this and considering this, just go ahead and buy the 13-year or 11-year bottled in bond that's out for $40. The 13-year is better, I think, than the Justice, and the 11-year without those vitamin mineral notes is even better than the 13-year from what I've heard, but I haven't tasted it. So hope this helps you guys decide what to buy and what to leave on the shelves. Until next time, cheers everybody.